Welcome, everybody, to the Troy Rawlings Show. I'm your host, Troy Rawlings. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. This show is really all about real talk. We get real personal, and we have a lot of fun. So thank you so much for tuning in. Today's society, it seems like media's been stressing a lot on sex. Sex, sex, sex. All of those who like sex can make some noise. But if that being the case, does this have a huge effect on the enormous divorce rates and the scandals that are going on? You know, we've all heard about the situation with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, once an actor, then the governor, aka the governator, aka the sperminator, confessed to having a child with his housekeeper, Patty Baiana. Now, I see this a little differently. 20 years. This woman was in his household, taking care of his children, feeding them, cooking, cleaning. She was doing all the dirty laundry. Hell, she was the dirty laundry. So that sounds like a relationship to me. So what is it? Also, Maria Shriver, she's seemed to be doing better. She was seen with, I don't know if you guys heard or not, she was seen with Bono, rock star Bono. So, yeah, you know. Oh, no, I didn't know. Because, you know, rock stars are a lot more, you know, household-oriented. No illegitimate children, no affairs, you know, stuff like that. So what is it? You know, all of these years together, 20 years. Also, not-so-known situations. Patti LaBelle and her husband, 30 years married, divorced. Bob Johnson, media mogul, and his wife, 30 years, divorce. Alan Tipper Gore, 40 years and divorce. So what can we do? What is it? Today we're going to talk about stoking the fire in relationships. We're going to talk about how we can keep our relationships going, keep them spicy, and try to get some tips. And for our tips, we have a very special guest today, wonderful woman by the name of Lora Somoza, radio personality, sexpert, and book author. Please make some noise and give it up for Lora Somoza. Welcome.
Thank you, Troy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
All right, how do you become a sexpert?
Yeah, it's not something that you, when you're a little kid going, I want to grow up and be a sexpert. It really was that I just don't have a shame factor. I think, you know, I have no problem talking about sex. I don't judge it at all. I'm just really comfortable sitting here like you talking about it. So it just seemed like a natural progression to sit around and talk about sex and how to do it and what's going wrong and let's see if we can fix it.
Y'all like that? It sounds like
Everybody
a food,
does it. Why
sounds like
not?
a food show. Mm-hmm. That was wonderful. So, Bliss in the Bedroom. Checked out the website with the book. We actually met through doing a radio show together, and her energy was wonderful. So how did you come up with Bliss in the Bedroom? What made you say, okay, this is a needed topic to talk about?
Well, it actually started, I was writing dating articles for a different site, and he said, you know what, why don't you spice it up and write an oral sex article? And I said, yeah, I think I could do that. And of course, that was the one that had hit big on the website. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I knew a thing or two about a thing or two, and so, yeah.
Love my guests. You know.
I know. My father's so proud. Sorry, Dad. Yeah, and so the next thing you know, he said, you know what, why don't you write a book? And so I interviewed dozens of doctors, thousands of couples, and just, you know, found out what the problem areas were, what were the things that needed to be, you know, most recognized, and then started to look for solutions. And that's where my book came from.
Okay. Well, I do a forum, been doing a forum for about 7 years or so, sex, love, relationship, raw, uncut forum. Not for network TV like this. But the biggest question...
Uncircumcised book? Is
oh, uncircumcised book.
Okay.
Totally uncircumcised. No,
okay.
no. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Just getting a visual, just checking it out, yeah.
But here's the thing. Most of my crowd has been women. So what do you think is the number one, that you've heard, number one problem that women have in relationships?
Oh, God, there's so many, actually. One of the biggest problems is being able to tell what the real blocks are. You know, I got a lot of women that are, I'm afraid that I'm not pleasing my guy. What do I do about it? And really, when it really comes down to the real problem is I'm not having enough self-esteem about me. There's issues that I don't like. I'm not being able to tell him how to please me. There's all these blocks on being able to say what I need, how to explain it to you, what I want you to do for me, because I'm afraid of being rejected.
Now, that's a good point. What do you do for that? Because I deal with it all the time. Women saying, well, I want him to do this, but, and I'm like, have you told him?
Yeah.
What are some techniques that women can, right.
Never know.
What are some techniques that, instead of going,
yeah, I get people all the time that are saying, you know, I've never climaxed with my guy. I've been with him for 4 years. I'm like, why? What? You're not doing any of the rest of the girls a favor.
because women have to be open emotionally more so and mentally. But what are some tips? How can a woman come off and say, hey, you know, is it over the football game? Hey, after you finish watching football.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you definitely
throw a
have to.
touchdown over here.
Hello. Stand right in the middle of the TV set. Yeah,
You know,
no, it's not a good time. You know, for me, when I've been in a situation before where I wanted to change things up in the bedroom, usually what I've done is start with telling him what I like about it, what's going on that I love that we're doing. Like this, you know, this is something you do for me that really turns me on. You know what else I'd like to try? How about this, this, and this? You know, how about we try this together? Or can we, you know, maybe I'll go online and try out like a sex toy, you know, site and say,
some guys are intimidated.
Let's do this together.
Some guys are intimidated by sex toys. How do
Why?
I don't know. No, I do know.
Why are you intimidated, Troy?
Why am I intimidated by sex toys? Duracell usually is one of the reasons that
Plug it in.
there's some,
Get a generator, baby.
That's even worse. No, I'm not intimidated.
But you would be
some
in
people are
charge.
intimidated because they think that's almost like competition. Guys have
It's
one
not competition.
one
You're in
toy in the
charge of
bedroom
the
rule
toy.
sometimes. You know?
You're in charge of the toy. You're
Yeah.
the master of her orgasm.
So how can she make him more comfortable? Because it seems like that's the main thing. Women are learning a lot of things that they want, and some women don't want to seem. I don't know if we can say. I'm using this a lot. I don't even know if we can say whore-ish, ho-ish.
Ho-ish?
Yeah, like ho-ish. It's a word. It's actually a knish.
I think of it as being sexually confident, knowing what you like. And I think that men really find that sexually attractive, don't you? When a woman knows what she finds that pleases them?
Men.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think there's nothing worse for men or women than being in bed with a dead fish. It's like someone just sitting there lying there. Oh.
So to speak. I don't know how much, I don't know who owns this, but I'm going to be losing a lot.
You're gonna need
Dead fish.
You're going to need like 10 more quotations
Right,
on both
right,
sides of that, my friend.
What if she tells him, a woman is open with her husband or a man about what she wants, and he actually really rejects her? I've heard of that kind of thing happening. He actually says,
Yeah.
you know what?
It can happen. I mean, people have different sex drives. They have different things that they fantasize over. And some people can just say, yeah, no, that's kind of off limits for me. And then sometimes what you can do is say, okay, well, what about a smaller variation of this? What is it something that, you know, you would want to do? Can we find some sort of a compromise that can make us both happy about this?
Something
and take little
that-
baby steps, you know, toward each other.
Maybe not necessarily dressing in a diaper, but
Yeah. Maybe you put the diaper over the pants and
Right,
start
right,
from there.
right.
Yeah.
can you take my diaper off?
Yeah, maybe
I
just
need to
give
be
him, like-
changed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Just start with the rattle, you know,
Yeah,
and work
'cause
your
that-
way up.
Work your way up to the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much, Laura. We'll be right back with Lora Somoza. You are tuned into the Troy Rawlings Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be right back after this. Give it up. Welcome back to the Troy Rawlings Show. I'm Troy Rawlings, and we're sitting here with the wonderful Lora Somoza.
Thank
you. Y'all enjoying yourself so far? Yeah. I hope you tuned in at home. We're talking about stoking the fire, how to keep romance alive in your relationship, especially after a long time. You may have been with your partner for a long time, or you may have not been with your partner for a long time, but how to keep the romance alive. One big thing is communication. We haven't talked much. We've been talking a lot about the bedroom, but communication. How important is that? How important is communication?
Vital. Absolutely vital. If you don't have communication, I don't think you have anything.
Since it's so much of a different level for men and women to talk to each other, women are thinking one way, guys are thinking another way. It seems to me that we think about the same things, but we just process and communicate things differently.
Yeah.
You talked about baby steps earlier with the bedroom, and we made a joke about the whole pamper thing, but if that's your thing, it's cool.
Troy will give you his number later.
Yes, yes. Really need to call Huggies or somebody that can really size you, Parliament Funkadelic or something. So what are some keys communication-wise?
A few of the things that, never put your partner on the defensive. So if you go into saying, you do this to me, or you never do this to me, the person's automatically going to put up a wall.
Right.
So if you can start in with, I feel this, or I miss you, if someone has kind of put up a wall or something, if you can say, I miss our time together, what can I do for you to help us together? Or if people are saying something and you feel like there's a miscommunication going on, a lot of times, and it seems really corny to do this, but if it's just simple enough to say, okay, what I hear you say is this, this, and this. And then that person could say, no, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. What I'm trying to say is this. And then at least you guys have a fair chance of trying to understand what that person is actually saying.
Right. All right, this will probably be the last question. It's something deep. What advice have you heard? What advice have you heard? What advice can you give to someone about secrets to keeping a relationship going for many years? Have you heard anybody that's been together for a long time?
Yeah, I was actually talking to a couple that's been together for like 35 years, and they still couldn't keep their hands off of each other. I was like, okay, what is it? You guys like wearing tiger's blood, or like what's the deal going on here? And they said that they did this thing where they gave sex slave points to each other, which I thought was a really cool idea. So it was like, all right, can you pick up the kids from the school this time? If you do, then I get
points?
Yeah. Okay. Just bear with me. Okay. So it's like, I don't want to pick up the kids from school this week. You do it, you get 2 hours of sex slave from me. Then you get whatever you want for 2 hours. So, or if you make dinner, you take out the trash, you get 30 minutes of sex slave from me. And then there was something different all the time.
So picking up the kids was worth 2 hours.
Well, whatever it is. Okay. You guys make it up. But you're going to look for kids.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Exactly.
We left it. Well, she going
tomorrow. Those are your kids. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Those aren't your kids.
But it was just the idea of, keeping things new and exciting. Or things like, one day a week, no bedroom sex. Had to be out of the bedroom. One time it was like no actual sex. Every time they had to think of something new, and it just brought in spontaneity all over again. So they're like newlyweds all the time. It was just the idea of just constantly working on reviving their sex life. And they were into it, and it just made them like the happiest, like most sexual couple. And they had sex every week, no matter what. Even if they didn't want to, they did. And it just kept those little pheromones going. Like, they were just like,
35 years.
35 years, and they were horny for each other. It was great.
You don't like the tips? Give it up for Lora Somoza. Yeah. Thank you, Lora. How can people get in touch with you? How can they reach out to you?
You can sign up for my newsletter on blissinthebedroom.com. I will write to you. I will answer your questions. And you can also listen to me on Between the Sheets with Lora Somoza. And you can get that on iTunes. So,
thank you so much. Give it up for our guest, Lora Somoza.
Thanks, Troy. Thank you.
We'll be right back after this. You're tuned into the Troy Rawlings Show. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Troy Rawlings Show. I am Troy Rawlings. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're having a good time. This is the part that we have fun. This is the Troy's Taboo teaser part of the show, where we get a chance to ask the audience, well, actually, they put their questions in anonymously, and sex, love, relationship questions, and we deal with them. So they get a chance to chime in on each other's questions without them knowing. All right, y'all ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's do this. This is the fun part. All right, we're reaching in, grabbing a question that I have not read much. No, sir. All right, first question. What does the I knew I wanted to sleep with him right when I met him look like?
I know what that looks like.
Oh, you know what that looks like? Okay, I'm going to pass the mic.
Yeah, I have to show you.
Uh-oh. Is that?
That's what the look looks like.
See, that look tells me that either she crazy. That's not, because I've never seen that look before. And that's scary to a guy. Guys, is that a look that I don't. Is that real? I mean, do you give him that much? You give him that much? He's like, I can sleep with you. You give him all of that? Really? No, that's not light. Somebody give me a lighter look. What do you see a guy, you want to get with him, you, wait a second. That was it? See, that was it. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Hold on, do it one more time. Let's get the camera this right here. See, so we have both dynamics. We have the, I'm gonna jump you before you get to the car look. And we have the, I'm kind of interested in you look. The reason we know is, we want to know is because most guys don't know how to take signs. Even though, he's like, he didn't even say hi to me. He didn't come talk to me. Because we don't get it. We just sit there, you're staring back and forth and he's staring. He's like, why is he staring at me like that? Because he think you gave him the look. But he's not sure. So he stares and says, is she?
How many looks do you have to give them? So we're talking about looks. So how many looks do you have to give the man before he'll come up to you? Because some men wait for 5, 6, 7 looks from what I hear, so.
But can't women say hello too?
Yes,
Really?
but I
That's
mean,
women, you can't say hello as much as y'all talk on the phone? Let it be a gossip session. I'm tired of her. She's doing what she do all the time. I'm quit my job. I'm gonna go to work at 9 o'clock this morning. And you can't say hello?
well, I mean, see, I'm married, so I go out and I don't give anybody the looks. So
Okay.
no, but my husband asked me, how many phone numbers did you get? I'm like, I didn't get any. And it's because I don't give anyone the look.
Okay.
So you have to kind of
how
like
many-
look that little interesting,
Well, let's
you
ask
know.
you. All right, both of you. How many times have you had to give a guy a look before he walks over to you? I mean, and you're a beautiful woman, but you know,
Honestly, like
gangster with it.
2 times.
Oh, so it doesn't happen the first time. He don't catch it. But are guys slow approaching you too?
I'm used to a guy coming to approach me.
Oh, excuse me. Peppy. So you two, I mean, Stella, you're an attractive woman. If you, I mean, you.
One look.
One look?
Same look.
Right. You know what? Then you have perfected. That's the look, guys. That's the look. All right. We're gonna we might have. Do we have time, guys? We're gonna try to get to this question. We're gonna come back and get to this question. I want my man and I to have sex in public, and he won't. Why is that? All right. We'll be right back after this. Be right back to the Troy Rawlings Show. And we'll answer that question. Welcome back to the Troy Rawlings Show. We're in the midst of Troy's Taboo Teaser, and we left with a question. If you didn't hear it, we're interacting with the audience. This is the question. I want my man and I to have sex in public, and he won't. Why is that? Why do you think? Guys, what one reason? I want to hear some men talking, even though we all women audience. Why wouldn't a guy have sex with his woman in public?
I don't know, I would.
That's called points, because she's sitting right next to him. All right, give me a reason that.
The only reason why I think you wouldn't want to do it is because you don't want your girl to think that, you know, it's okay that she could do it without you. That would be the only reason. Other than that, I'm going to do it. So, we're guys, we're gullible.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
ladies, guys, most guys are adventurous enough, want to be adventurous enough to have sex in public. Ask him, why not? And he probably will say, well, okay.
Can I make a
Yeah. Ask him why not. Suggestion. When we have sex in public.
Well, no, I think the
I usually
reason,
just grab-
if anybody, woman or man, doesn't want to have sex in public, I personally think that there's one reason that's obvious to me. They're scared to get in trouble. They're scared to get caught. Why else? If you'll have sex in private, why wouldn't you have sex in public? I don't think it's because he's scared she'll do it with someone else. She could do anything with somebody else, public or
It
private.
could be. Now, it could
but-
be, he could be bashful. He could
Yeah,
not be.
he
No,
might be
most
scared.
guys,
Maybe that
some
thrill.
guys run to the bed like,
Yeah, like the thrill of getting caught or taboo might not be a thrill for him. It might actually scare him.
why does that seem so attractive to women? Because I've had scenarios, I'm not just saying, I've had some scenarios. Yeah, and women don't care after certain things. Women aren't usually the ones that say, "Is that the cops?" You know, women don't care. It's like, baby, that's the cops. They
Because
probably
if
just
the-
gonna ride by.
because if cops-
No, he has a flashlight in the daggone car.
Because usually when a cop comes, a man gets in more trouble than a woman would usually, right? I mean, punishments are usually harder
that's
on men
cool.
than on women.
Oh my
So a
goodness.
man would probably be more scared than a woman.
Yeah. He just snatched the mic away from me. Okay, we're going to do one more real quick. We'll try to get this in. Is it okay to have a boyfriend on the side if it helps your marriage stay together? On that note, we thank y'all for coming out. No. That's like an oxymoron. That's like jumbo shrimp. It just don't make sense. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that online. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Troy Rawlings Show. We want to give a special thanks to our guests, radio personality, author, sexpert, Lora Somoza. You can... You can reach Lora Somoza at www.blissinthebedroom.com. Also myself, Troy Rawlings. Go to www.thetroyrawlingsshow.com. We'll see you next time. Love y'all. Spread love. Thanks so much.